Welcome friends, welcome one and all. Blair Ballard, the bon vivant, very much at your service. I do hope that you're all in the finest of fine forms. Now, if you're new to the channel, a very warm and hearty welcome. Dive in, the water is very, very warm. If you indeed like this video, please feel free to smash those like and subscribe buttons and turn on notifications so you'll be alerted when the next video drops. Well, it's that time of year again. I'm back here at my favourite Happy Place prop store just outside London for their Entertainment Memorabilia Live Auction, which is coming up next week. Again, I'm like a kid in a candy store. What is your jam? If it's Harry Potter, well, might I direct Sir and Madam to some actual ones from the films themselves? We have, moving across here, of course, we've got the Kurgan, the actual Kurgan worn in Highlander. We've got costumes from Shaun of the Dead, we've got a Predator, we've got a horror section, we've got Darth Vader, we've got the Green Goblin, we've got a Batman cowl, we've got Marty McFly's jacket from Back to the Future 2, we have the Star Wars Stormtrooper costume from Move Along, from the actual New Hope, first Star Wars film. It's absolutely, everywhere I look, I'm absolutely stunned. We've got a mask from Tron. We've got stuff from, this is one of my favourite films. This is Kurt Russell's hat from The Thing. I mean, my mind is blown, but we're here for one man, and that man is James Bond. We're going to see Tim Laws now, who's going to talk us through the lots going under the hammer. Set your faces to stunned. Well, I'm here with your friend and mine, Tim Laws. Great to see you.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, never a chore. I mean, every time I come down here, I always say it's like being a kid in a candy store. You don't really do much work here. It's just like your fun, your hobby. I mean, but I'm going to say it again. I mean, you have the best job in the world. I mean, surrounded as we are by, I mean, just everywhere I look, I'm going, no, that can't be. No, is it really? And oh my, Harry Potter, you've got a whole Harry Potter section. You've got, I mean, you got McCready's hat, you know, Kurt Russell's hat from The Thing. I mean, we're going to possibly, if we've got some time to squeeze it in at the end, we might pick out a few choice lots. But we're here obviously for the Bond pieces you've got going under the hammer.
Yep.
Every year you surpass yourselves, you bring out things, I think there's no way that you guys can top it, but you always manage to up the ante. And we've got a particular piece to the right, which we'll come on to. But first of all, I mean, we've got one of my, I mean, we both, and we were talking about this before we started filming, the gold bars from Goldfinger.
I think, first of all, anything from the Connery era is super rare, super scarce. And my personal favourite is Goldfinger. I love it. We see gold bars around all the time, purporting to be from Goldfinger. These have come from an impeccable source. It's a crew guy who had a whole load of stuff from those really early Bond films. These were purchased at the after auction, after movie. They have a sale of background props and costumes and things. So he purchased these in whenever it was,
64,
and he's had them ever since. And when you see them, and obviously we get some close-ups of these, but these are just made of plaster. They're ever so crude, brush marks on there, but they are. Remarkable.
You know, they're weighty, but you know, you can imagine them stacked up.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, when Connery's trying to to knock off the handcuffs so you can disarm the nuclear weapon, and also throwing them at odd job. You know, I mean, obviously those were more sort of practical kind of props, but these ones here, background possibly.
Yeah, I would say background, because you see the ones close up in the cage. It's the exact same shape, but they have some numbers stamped in, and they're all at the front of the cages.
Sure.
But you can see these go way back into the distance, and they're in good. They're showing that sort of natural patina for their age, but they're in great condition. Really like them.
How about having these in your collection? I'll be posting the estimates on screen because there's so many lots to get through. I mean, how many lots have you got in total going to the Hammer?
1,800. I want to say it's crazy. It's 4 days. It's going to be ever so busy. We have a great deal of fun, but lots. Something for everyone's budget, from £100 up to 100,000.
Sure. And you are going to be doing a live auction actually in BAFTA again?
Yeah, the 14th and 15th are live days at BAFTA, Piccadilly. Come along, you're very welcome. You can follow it online as well. But days 3 and 4, Saturday and Sunday, will be online only. The same thing. We have an auctioneer, phone bidding, online bidding, but just no people in the room on those 2 days.
Sure. And I'll put all the details about how to register to bid down below, and any information as well. I mean, obviously you've got a few, we talk about this every time, but you've got a few weapons that you might need to get permits for or whatever. Maybe buying in the UK is obviously a bit different from buying in the States.
The deactivated weapons are fine. Anybody can own those, but if anybody's got any questions, just drop me a line and I'll be happy to answer them.
They're always absolutely fantastic, filling in any gaps you might need, any questions you might have. Again, I'll put all the details down below so you can contact Tim and the team, who are always on hand to help you out and offer any advice and insights into the actual lots themselves. Now, we will be coming on to the one to the right in a minute, but these might give you a little clue as to what's coming through. What have we got here?
So these are our various missiles and weaponry from Little Nellie.
I mean, okay, Aston Martin DB5, obviously the greatest car of all time, but his most famous vehicle, but Little Nellie comes in a very, very close second, I think.
I think so. It does seem to always make the list, doesn't it? And the Little Nellie scene is particularly fondly regarded, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, it was filmed. I mean, the actual battle sequences were filmed. I think, as it said, in Spain, wasn't it? But there were some scenes shot in some clips shot in Japan as well. But amazing to have. I mean, these are from the.
Yeah, these are all originally from Ken Wallace, who is the gentleman that flew the practical Little Nellie, and he kept all his weaponry off the gyrocopter, and he befriended a gentleman who has consigned these items to the auction, and Ken kind of signed and dedicated each piece as a bit of extra provenance. So never seen anything like this in all these years. Never thought these survived, but here they are all these years later.
Unbelievable. So this one here, look at this. A heat-seeking missile used on the Autogyro Little Nellie in You Only Live Twice in Japan and Spain, 1966. Best wishes, Ken Wallace. I mean, you don't get provenance better than that, really, do you? And this is one of the heat-seeking missiles, or this is one of the tips?
Yeah, that's one of the tips, yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Now, these fire heat-seeking air-to-air missiles, 60 a minute.
Good.
Signed by the man himself.
Yep.
Featured in the film. I mean, if you're a Connery fan, these things, as you say, don't come under the hammer very often. Oh, that's so cool. And what do we have here? These are the from the rockets. The multiple kind of like the kind
yeah.
of...
So he signed one of them, but there are a pair together in the auction.
That's so cool. And isn't it true that they had to fire them all at the same time because of the recoil?
Just the stability of the craft. Yeah.
So cool. And do they come out?
They do. They're not very easily, but they do.
Yeah, we
have had them out.
But
you can see photographs online. We have taken images of them outside.
I'll pop some photographs up now as we're talking to them. But they just do not come under the hammer. So I mean, not only Connery, but from one of the most iconic. I'll put that flat, shall I? Yeah. There we go. So, I mean, we're going to talk about Little Nellie, the key, must be one of the...
Oh, I just think we'll get to that.
We'll get that in a moment. But yeah, hold that thought, okay? But first of all, pop quiz hot shots. What's this particular missile from? Any ideas? Okay, Tim.
Have they answered?
Have you answered? Yeah.
Go for it.
So this is from, let me think, it's from Diamonds Are Forever. It's in two scenes, isn't it?
It is, yeah, two different in Blofeld's lair.
That's right.
And I think Sean Connery handles one of these as well. So again, anything Connery related, very difficult to get.
Hands on from Sean has had his mitts on this particular. It's heavy, isn't it? It's aluminium.
It's solid aluminium, yeah.
Which was a very highly regarded metal, as the blurb says in the description. But and Blofeld, Charles Gray says it's not used as a practical weapon, Bond. So don't think about trying to impale me with it, I suppose.
Nice to see you haven't lost that fine mental edge, 007. Please don't get any foolish notions. That missile is not a practical weapon.
Well, it's hardly worth the effort. After all, I wouldn't know which one of you to kill.
We appreciate your predicament, Mr. Bond. We deeply sympathize.
But I mean, it's also used at the end when Jimmy Dean, Willard White is, they're discussing or they're trying to find out where Blofeld's hiding out, I think, or they're looking at the map and they've got this.
That's right, they're on the map. That's right.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, Washington just got word from your friend with the cat. Would you believe that this whole damn country is being held for ransom and we got until noon tomorrow to pay up?
So that's it then. Well, I'm sure you won't be alone.
An international auction with nuclear supremacy going to the highest bidder.
Tell me, what does he need to control that satellite?
A simple set of tapes fed into a computer bank. All he really needs is a building.
And these tapes, large or small?
Again, I'll put all the estimates up there. I mean, do you have any particular lots that are coming through which you think are, I mean, not Bond related, just have you got a favourite lot coming through for yourself?
Oh, personally, yeah. I mean, we have, there's two lots I really, really like. You've already mentioned the Macready hat from The Thing, which...
We will talk about that, I think.
We will. And also the spaghetti western costumes that have come in from Costume d'Arte, which is a Roman costume house. And there's a number of items in that collection from Cleopatra and the duelists. Just remarkable that these costumes have survived all these years. But it's the spaghetti western stuff, the good, the bad, and the ugly in particular. Just one of my favourites. So yeah.
My son was absolutely gutted not to be able to come. My son and daughter normally accompany me down here. Again, it's like they help out, but they're like, it's also, oh my gosh, because they're big Breaking Bad fans, they're big Nirvana fans. You've got Michael Jackson pieces coming under the hammer as well. I mean, we could do a whole different video about all the other pieces coming down. We'll do a pan round, I think, just a few key pieces later on. But yeah, they're absolutely gutted not to come. He actually held Clint Eastwood's pistol. I think was it Jeff from Josie Wales or the last time he was here?
Oh, Pale Rider, I think.
Pale Rider, that's right. Yeah, oh, it's like how cool. How cool is that? But look, well, I mean, shall we move on Let's move on to the next big item. I mean, this does not really need an introduction.
No, it doesn't. You don't even know to sort of say what it is, but we will say what it is. So this is the front nose nacelle from Little Nellie.
I mean, what? I mean, my little Bond geek brain is just exploding at the moment. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just so cool.
This is the only piece of Little Nellie in private hands. It's the original filming nose. So basically the story is obviously Ken Wallace again. After the filming of You Only Live Twice, he took this to various air shows.
You can see all the stickers coming.
All the events that it attended. And then while flying in Northern Ireland, it crashed. And the footage is on YouTube. You can see it. It's a scary crash. It's amazing. He walked away from it. But as you can see, the nacelle was damaged, and so he took it off, put a fresh one on, and kept the original. So this is the filming nose cone. It's amazing.
Unbelievable. And obviously, again, as we mentioned before, they filmed some of the aerial stuff in Japan, obviously to get some of the background shots, but most of the actual battle scene was filmed in Spain, which we mentioned on that. It was on the missile nose cones we saw earlier on. But I mean, as I say, after the DB5, this has got to be, the Bond gadget, the Bond prop to end all props.
This is a one-off. This is the flying. This is it. I mean, it's absolutely amazing. And again, on the front edge there, you'll be able to see on the camera that Ken has signed and dedicated it as well.
This is the original Little Nellie cockpit, as flown by me, Ken Wallace, 007. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the holes on the front there, I thought they might have been part of the crash, but they're actually obviously where the machine guns
Exactly
were.
right. Yeah, you can see the screw holes there are still there. I mean, there is some damage. There's some repair to the fiberglass. I mean, you can see why he couldn't continue using it, but it still retains its original shape. So it's exactly what you want.
Unbelievable. I mean, how much? I mean, what's the estimate? For
The estimate on this is 75,000 to 150,000, and
it could go.
Who knows? I mean, this is your one and only opportunity to purchase a piece of Little Nellie.
Unbelievable. I mean, if my numbers came up on the lottery, I keep saying this, every time I come down, I'm like,
one day you'll
buy the
win.
ticket, buy the ticket, buy the ticket. But yes, one day I will.
If you're not buying a ticket, that's your first problem.
Exactly, that's your problem right there. But no, this is just. I mean, guys. I will again reiterate: do register your details, even if you want to just watch online. But it's a slice of Bond history that's never going to be repeated. It's just absolutely incredible to have it here and be able to sort of touch it in the flesh and have obviously Sean Connery but Ken Wallace doing the flying, sitting here, peeking out over the top here, machine guns blazing. It's just such an amazing scene.
I knew you'd get a kick out of this.
I mean, as I say, my head's exploding here. It's just absolutely incredible. But somebody's going to be a very, very, very lucky collector to have this in their collection.
Yes, wonderful. And the display stand is included as well.
Oh, brilliant.
If that makes any difference.
No, absolutely, absolutely. That's brilliant, fantastic. Well, while my heart rate kind of reduces slightly, let's move on to another table, shall we? So now Roger Moore is my Bond.
Your Bond, Roger Moore.
Yeah. So now we're with the Roger Moore table. We've got a few pieces here from Octopussy.
Yeah, I really like this. This is because it's a really nice displayable piece, and it's very personal to Roger, I think, because as you know, Frank Foster made Roger Moore's shirts for his movies and for his personal wardrobe, and this has a Frank Foster label inside it. It's the shirt he wore when he tries to infiltrate Maud Adams' palace in Octopussy. It's just lovely. I really like it.
It's a lovely colour. I know the scene very well, and they actually sit down for a glass of champagne, don't they? When they realise that there's the family connection, that Roger Moore helped Maud Adams' father out and let him sort of die with dignity, as it were. I actually met Maud Adams just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up in London. There was a Bond event, and she was just lovely, so beautiful still. Britt Heckland was there because obviously it's the anniversary for The Man with the Golden Gun this year. But Octopussy was last year, but it's still very, very... It's coming around. I've always loved Octopussy because I love India. I used to live in the Middle East and we used to go across to India quite a lot, so it has a firm place in my heart. And again, Frank Foster shirts, I mean, absolutely wonderful. Roger Moore's personal shirt maker, obviously, as well, as you said. Great looking shirt. And we've got this little fella as well.
Oh, this is good. And what I like about this, apart from anything else, is the estimate is very reasonable. It starts at £500, and I feel like most people remember that scene.
When he goes through, careering through the spider web when he's trying to evade Kamal Khan on his elephants and being chased through the jungle, and then he goes through the web and he's like, it's on his arm, isn't it?
That's right, it's on his forearm.
And he squashes it, and But yeah, I mean, £500 to £1,000. That seems very reasonable. Can I have a quick look? It's just oh wow, it's really well painted and
pretty realistic.
Pretty, we wouldn't want that crawling up. And again, talking about spiders, I actually chatted to the guy who had the original spider for Dr. No. He was the one who was the spider wrangler and brought his pet tarantula to the set, and it was like, apparently it was kept in this pipe cleaner cage, but he got warmed up and he escaped, and they had to try and track him down when he's doing the audition. But yeah, I will post that. Actually, it's not a video, it's on a podcast, but I'll post that at some point in the future. But really, when he was given the tarantula in the first place, it was in a Tesco's bag. It's like, what? Absolutely crazy. But I mean, £500 to £1,000, and it is an iconic, just a piece from Octopussy, which is again one of my favourite films. So I might keep a little discreet eye on that one when the bidding goes. The bidding's live at the moment, isn't it, actually?
Yeah, you can bid online right now at propstore.com, and
fab.
just search for Octopussy, and both these two pieces will show. We can take bids on telephones on the day, on the 14th, 15th, 16th and 17th. Yes, there's loads of ways to bid. Just go to propstore.com. It's all there.
I love it. Again, everyone gets the click fever, and they're like, watching. I mean, it's all very well done. I absolutely love watching the event live. It's brilliant. But still with Roger Moore. Now these three pieces, in fact, are from Moonraker.
Yeah, and obviously, if want something from Moonraker, you want something spacey.
Yeah. Of course, of course.
So you got a couple of, you got the cap and the gloves from one of the spacesuits, which is these pieces just don't seem to survive for some reason. I don't know why. There's so few of them, but yeah, really nice little set.
Colonel Scott, don't shoot!
Hold your fire!
Yeah, great. I mean, just looking at these gloves here. I mean, they've really, added some extra lovely little details on here, and the kind of the wrist.
Yeah, it's a very Harry Lang design there with the pinstripe there, which is he was noted for in his design.
Yeah. It's very Space 1999 and kind of evokes that as well. So those are absolutely fat. And then obviously the iconic kind of jumpsuits.
This is what everybody thinks of, isn't it? The yellow jumpsuit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously, Roger Moore wears one as well, and
Lois Charles very memorably was wearing one as well. I remember when being a little kid. I remember seeing the cinema when it came out, and I thought it was great fun. I mean, it's really good fun. Obviously, Star Wars influenced their decision
yeah,
to film it.
that's the whole reason that film really came about, or that aspect of that film, because I believe in the book there's not too much actually goes on in space at all.
No, absolutely. But I'll put the estimates again on screen because it's we can't remember all of the prices, but it's like 1,000 I think to 1,500, 1,400 something like that.
Yeah, it's very reasonable, and I think if you just again wanted one piece from Moonraker, this would certainly tick that box for you.
Absolutely, great stuff. Well, let's move on to the next table. Okay, now, so Tim, we moved on to the Brosnan era.
Yeah, and I think he was a wonderful Bond. I really do think he was a good Bond. He was always meant to be James Bond, wasn't he?
Well, he was. I mean, he's got the lurks. I mean, you can imagine him being the kind of guy that women would swoon and do anything for. And we've got a mixture of different films. So obviously, first of all, we got this from this kind of gilet kind of top from GoldenEye. The final scenes in GoldenEye, isn't that right?
Yeah, I really like it. Very distinctive. There's so many publicity stills and imagery of him wearing this that I do automatically. I just look at that and I do see Pierce Brosnan.
Absolutely. I mean, you had the shirt, and I think another one of these a couple of years last time we were here.
Yeah, that's right. So obviously, with modern big budget movies, they will have multiples of costumes for various reasons. You can't afford to hold up production in any way if there's any kind of problem or wardrobe accident or wardrobe malfunction. So they will have at least 2 or 3 on set, on standby at any one time. So this is I think the second time we've been lucky enough to offer one of these.
It's amazing. I mean, if you want to see the video that featured the other one, and also obviously we've got multiple different videos from our visits here, which because I can't tear myself away, I'll put links up above and down below as well for you to check out. I do love the fact that, especially, we had it first of all with Timothy Dalton wearing the tactical gear, but for Pierce Brosnan, it was great to see him wearing sort of, gear that he would wear in the field and actually on a mission. So this is, again, an iconic piece in my book as well.
Yeah,
I really love it.
I think you said off camera, there's some really interesting costume choices for Pierce Brosnan. A little bit more like practical, he's given items of clothing to do the job that he set out.
Exactly, leather jackets and kind of stuff that you'd actually use and wear in the field that actually would make sense. So yeah absolutely. Moving on, we've got this passport as well. That's
it's made for Die Another Day, and I think it's just a really nice indication of the level of detail that the prop department have to go into. The script are called for a passport. I have a feeling that you don't see the passport on screen, but obviously the guys start months before filming to make sure they've got everything they need. So if the script says passport, they've got to have a passport ready because it could be a very important scene. But you've got a really nice, custom photo of Pierce Brosnan there, and a fake passport, and a very realistic one. Yeah.
Well, I've got one for Daniel Craig, and it's got again stamps, and it's his address, and it's the backstory. And I've got some other props from the Brosnan era, some of the bits we're going to come on to, sort of King End Industries folders, which are never actually opened on screen, but you do see inside. They've got like reams of like photographs and memos and letters and things. I suppose puts the actors in the
and like I said, because you never know what the script's going to call for, or the director on the day just might want to an over the head shot of somebody going through a file. So those pages have got to be ready. Yeah,
Eon go the extra mile. The prop department guys are absolutely amazing. Now this key,
I love this.
Oh my goodness.
So this is a screen match key as well, so you can match up the kind of the rust and the markings on it. But it's that door under the bridge, which I understand people try and get
They
into.
get into, but I've seen people take photographs next to it, and they're like as if they're about to enter. Can I have a quick look?
Absolutely, help yourself.
I mean, it's iconic. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. Oh, we're going to close up of that as well, but the actual key, I can't believe I've actually got this in my hands. That's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I mean, it's his calling card, isn't it? It's M's calling card. I'll put the estimates on screen, but I mean, that would be an absolutely incredible addition to anybody's Brosnan collection.
I really like it. I think it's a great fun piece.
That's brilliant. Now moving on, another incredible piece. This obviously from The World's Not Enough. Robert King's.
It's obviously a major sort of plot point, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely incredible. It's the detail is just absolutely beautiful. Obviously, it explodes. It activates the explosion that cues off the Q-boat. And I was going to bring on the Q-boat. We haven't got the Q-boat here, unfortunately, because it's absolutely enormous.
Yeah.
But the Q-boat's going to be going under the hammer as well.
It is as well, yeah. So it's one of the stripped down versions after film when they took all the sort of canopy and everything off. But yeah, that's a really exciting thing, and it's a practical boat, and it's apparently super fast.
Oh wow! Is it in the UK at the moment? Or
It's in the UK. Yeah, it's ready to go. It's just in proper storage with being looked after as it should.
Well, I'll put some photographs up. I mean, that's going under hammer as well. I mean, I don't know what the estimates for that is, but that's.
Now, the estimate on that one is 15 to 30,000 on the Q-boat.
I'm sure that's what speedboats normally cost.
I think how much it would cost if you wanted to have something constructed like that.
I know, but it's got a V8 engine, and it's like absolutely incredible. And there are only a couple of them still.
Yeah, there are a couple around, but this is, like I say, this is one without all the dressing on
caroling,
it. So
actually, just
it's one from the production. It's awesome.
This back to King's pin. I mean, absolutely essential to the plot. And obviously, it brings in Sophie Marceau's sort of character later on as well. So we will be looking at a piece that she wore in the film in a moment. But this is just absolutely incredible. And again, something that's manageable, portable. It's something you can put on.
And it's such a key prop. And as you say, the intricacy of the design is really nice.
Absolutely wonderful. Now, moving on, more Brosnan. Before we move on to this huge gun here that Cigar Girl uses, let's have a quick look at these. These are Jinx's knives, aren't they? From the end.
So again, this is a little insight to the filmmaking process, because these are very lightweight rubber knives. So these would have been used in I think it's the fight scene at the end of the film, isn't it, where Jinx uses them as throwing knives. And we have had hero metal versions that are quite a weapon, really.
Yeah, sure.
So for the safety of the actors, they have these very special, very safe, lightweight versions, which but you can't tell the difference. I mean, to look at them without, and it's only when you pick them up you can see that they're not the stainless steel that is stamped on there.
It's got stainless steel actually written on the edge. That's attention to detail for you. Yeah, this is the fight with Rosamund Pike, isn't it? At the end on the plane when they're absolutely amazing though. But again, a nice little piece you could have in your collection. And
then a slightly bigger piece you can have in your collection.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't seen the video I've got of John Reynolds' Donk's Modest Collection, he's got the practical version of this, which is made of it's a proper gun. Obviously, it's a Heckler & Koch, really sturdy piece of kit, massively. You can't lift it. You have two people to lift it. And it has a special gyro kind of stand on the back of the boat, wasn't it?
Serious, piece of engineering.
This one
is a little bit more practical.
I can lift it up. I mean, it is absolutely amazing, and it's obviously the gun that's on the back of Cigar Girl's boat in the opening sequence.
Yeah, which is just an incredible sequence. Really is good.
And showcasing London, going past the Houses of Parliament, obviously ending up at the Millennium Dome. Epic scene, amazingly shot with the Q-boat as well, doing the barrel roll. Really, really amazing. And this, I mean, having that in your front room.
Yeah, and obviously custom made for filming because it's a lightweight stunt version. So this would have been made for filming.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, very cool. And again, I'll put the estimates up on screen. But I mean, if you're a kind of like a fan of Brosnan, plenty of pieces to add to your collection.
Yeah.
Let's see what we've got next. Now, one extra little Brosnan tip that we got here.
Well,
again,
we have to show this because this is a prop. What I like about this is a prop in reality, which is how it is on screen and how you imagine it to be, how well made it is. And I'll let you demonstrate.
Well, it's as Zhao's the bullet with the diamonds in. It's again a crucial plot point.
Yep.
And a lot of screen time as well, and it actually works. Yeah?
It does. It is how it is on screen, which is pretty unusual.
Let's have a look. So let's move that the way. So we've got the bullet here, which is round his neck, Rick Yoon's neck. But then let's just have a look. So this actually unscrews. Oh wow, that's so cool. And this is the hero one, yeah?
It is, yeah.
Are there any diamonds in there? There are.
There are. There you go.
Oh my goodness, there we go. That is so cool. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so cool.
Wonderful.
That is absolutely wonderful. What an amazing prop to have. And again, it's displayable, it's portable, it's a proper working gadget.
Yeah.
It ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, and if you've seen the film, you remember the prop.
And yeah, I mean, again, we don't know the estimates. So do you know the estimate for that one?
I don't.
Don't worry, not the top of your head. No, sorry. No, I will post
up
up
so many today.
I'll pop up on the screen. But I mean, that would be. I mean, that's potentially my favourite of the day so far. That is so cool. Oh, brilliant! The diamonds look really good as well.
Very good, aren't they? Very
good screen. Screen. To look good on screen. Absolutely amazing. We've got one more Brosnan. We've got one more Brosnan piece to go for, which is the dress behind him. We'll get a close up there and chat about that now. Obviously, this is an iconic dress worn by Sophie Marceau as Electra King right at the end of The World Is Not Enough.
I could have given you the world.
Huh. The world is not enough.
Foolish sentiment.
Family motto.
Absolutely stunning
yes,
in the flesh here.
The death scene. I think this is unbelievable. It's just beautiful. It really is lovely.
The embroidery, the jewel work. I mean, it's just the flow. I mean, it's something that. I mean, my other half doesn't wear dresses, but I might be able to coax her into this one because it is absolutely stunning. Seeing it here in the flesh. What's the story behind it? I mean,
well, yeah, this was donated by Eon to raise money for charity.
Oh wow!
So it comes with paperwork from Eon. And the other thing I really like about this is the skirt is by Versace.
Oh
and,
right.
The Louvre in Paris did a short exhibition of Versace costumes after his passing, after he was murdered.
Oh, yes.
And this actual costume was on display as part of that exhibition. So this very costume has been displayed at the Louvre, which I think is pretty impressive.
I mean, it's just absolutely exquisite. I mean, again, my mind has been blown. It's always the same when I come to see you, Tim, and all the guys. I'd like to say a huge thank you to not just Tim, but to Stephen Lane, Miranda, and Graham, and George behind the camera who stepped up to help out today, because it's always an absolute... it's a highlight of my year, my Bond year, to come and see you guys here. So, Tim, thanks so much.
Absolute pleasure. Always, Blair. I love your enthusiasm.
Well, it's difficult not to be enthusiastic being surrounded by so many iconic pieces. We haven't had time to go backstage and look at some of the other bits from around the collection that's going on to the Hammer in a week or two's time. But for now, this has been Tim and myself, Blair Ballard, the Bon Vivant, bidding you a very Bond farewell. Stay safe, my very good friends. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please do consider smashing those like and subscribe buttons. Do turn on notifications so you know when the next video drops. Also, leave some comments down below as to any videos you'd like to see in the future. But for now, stay safe, friends. We'll see you next time.